From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger. We begin tonight with news that dozens of inmates in the Yellowstone County Detention Center have tested positive for the COVID-19 virus. In a news release, Yellowstone County Sheriff Mike Linder said that an inmate tested positive earlier this week. As a result, the rest of the inmates in that unit, approximately 70 males, were also tested, and about 30 of them are positive. Linder says the inmates are not symptomatic at this time and are being isolated from the rest of the population. In addition, 4 female inmates who tested positive or displayed symptoms are being held in isolation. Well, the state reported 142 new coronavirus cases today and another death. Yellowstone County seeing the most, 51 new cases, bringing our county's overall number of active cases to 677. Statewide, our total is now more than 6,200. The death in Missoula County is the 90th so far in the state. Well, the call to go ahead with sports this fall in Yellowstone County, but without fans in the stands, has brought both cheers and jeers. County Health Officer John Felton will give the public a chance to ask questions about the fan ban in a virtual meeting that will be held on Facebook Live Monday night. This week, Felton announced the sports policy for high school and middle schools in the county. Athletics will go on for students with precautions and checks in place, but parents and others will not be allowed to see it in person. Felton said in a news release that he wants to be able to address these concerns while helping the public understand the decision-making process and the considerations that went into the plan. The Facebook Live Q&A session will take place from 6:30 until 7:30 Monday night. It will be broadcast live on the Q2 Facebook page where you can give your questions and comments. Felton says that he's looking forward to a respectful discussion and that questions will not be answered past 7:30. Now, earlier this week, we told you about a petition started by a Laurel woman on change.org asking that policy be amended to allow limited spectators with proper social distancing. I checked this afternoon and that petition now has more than 20,000 electronic signatures. Tonight, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy says it's outrageous to accuse him of trying to make it harder to cast a mail-in ballot. But DeJoy is also rejecting calls to reverse cuts that even he admits have caused backlogs. He insisted in today's Senate hearings that current delays will not affect mail-in voting. DeJoy has agreed to halt the removal of collection boxes, but says he won't reinstall mail sorting machines that were dismantled or removed.
They're not needed, sir.
So you will not bring back any processors?
They're not needed, sir.
You don't save money by breaking down machines and putting them away and storing them. You spend money.
David Williams resigned in April because he felt the agency was being politicized. Montana Senator John Tester slammed DeJoy after that hearing, saying he failed to make publicly available the information he used to determine where and why services would be cut. Well, at least 5 people are dead tonight. Another 60,000 have been forced from their homes by the intense flames from fires burning in Northern California. In fact, we've seen some of the smoke and haze all the way here in Montana. CBS's Carter Evans has more.
California remains under assault tonight as nearly 12,000 firefighters statewide continue to battle raging wildfires. The flames already scorching an area nearly 3 times the size of Los Angeles and killing at least 5 people. The governor says resources are stretched thin.
We've been on the phone with governors trying to reach out as far as the East Coast to see if we can get resources here into the state of California.
More than 12,000 lightning strikes have been sparking new fires, and they're igniting in places that haven't burned in more than a century, even threatening the ancient redwoods. Meantime, more than 60,000 residents still can't return home.
Oh my God, it's just...
As a massive wall of flames approached Bill Janice's home,
I need help up here.
There were no firefighters in sight. He tried to cut his own fire break, but it wasn't enough. When the flames reached his wood shop, he scrambled to save his motorcycle parked inside.
It fell on top of my leg. I couldn't get it off me.
I remember screaming, but knowing no one was here.
And what were you thinking?
I don't want to go this way. I'm not ready to go.
He escaped and saved his home, but this carpenter's livelihood is gone.
Carter Evans, CBS News, Vacaville, California.
And Missoula fire officials say a fast-moving wildfire on Missoula's popular Mountain Sentinel was human-caused. However, the blaze is still under investigation. Missoula Fire, DNRC, and Forest remained on the scene of the 25-acre wildland fire just south of the iconic M last night. The fire, they were monitoring that fire for restarts. The M trail reopened today. However, the remainder of that mountain remained closed. Well, the weekend is here. So is Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire. And Bob, we're going to start things out on the toasty side.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of an active weekend because we do have a warm front moving in on Saturday, and then things will change. But let me show you what's going to happen tonight. Tonight, we're looking at mostly clear skies. It'll be 63 degrees. Then Saturday, that warm front moves in. That will warm us up to 98 degrees, which, by the way, will be warmer than Dallas. It'll be warmer than New Orleans and warmer than Albuquerque. All those are southern cities and southern states. And look at this. On Sunday, we have a new cold front move through. That will cool us down, but we're still expecting mostly sunny skies all the way to the weekend. And through the weekend, it will be 91 degrees for the high temperature on Sunday. So there you have it. Then after that, we got a couple of days where we'll see temps into the 90s. But here's the big news. Coming up later in the forecast, we're going to talk about temps rolling all the way back to the 80s. We'll have more about that in a few minutes.
Thanks, Bob. Attendance and receipts at this year's Montana Fair and Billings were only 30% of normal. That word today from Metro Park Marketing and Sales Director Ray Massey. He tells Q2 it's about what officials expected, given that this year's fair was only about 30% of what it normally would look like. In his words, less of everything from vendors to rides to food. On a positive note, Massey said holding this year's fair amid the pandemic was a psychological win that gave the community a sense of normalcy. He said there were no incidents over distancing or mask wearing requirements. And looking ahead, Metro Park has a busy fall schedule that includes the PBR September 11th to the 13th and the Home Improvement Show that same weekend. As for the Toby Keith concert scheduled for September 17th, look for an announcement on that early next week. Ahead on the MTN News at 10 here on Q2, the struggle to find substitute teachers. We're going to tell you why the need for help is high in School District 2. Then a little later in sports, sibling rivalry getting down and dirty on the BMX track.